Hi guys, really got the bed head this morning, but I've already been practicing, so it's double bed head. It's somatic, somatic work, and then it's also bed head on top of it. So, make sure your partner doesn't see you. Okay, so we did front body, we've done back body, and now we're gonna do side body. I'm laying with my head on my shoulder or my arm, but if that doesn't work for your neck, then you just take a pillow and pop it right underneath there and let it fill up that space so your neck had support. And we're gonna start right here with a little push into the hand and a little bit of rocking. And that, notice what makes sense here. Meaning this was too big for me, it was way too big. So just a little bit goes a long way. I've been yawning a lot this morning. You're gonna see that a lot, probably. Let the yawns come if they come. It's actually a really good sign to be yawning. It's just a little push in the hand and it just travels. I'm feeling that weight shift of the ground below me. So when you're ready, let that come to stillness. And then just go ahead and let that top arm rest for a second. Top arm rest on the hip. Notice how you're meeting the ground and how ground's meeting you. And just kind of track the breath, path that it takes, up and down the spine, how it moves you into the earth. And then as you're ready, just bring those fingertips towards the ceiling. You can make movement or not. You could stir the arm. So I'm just stirring the arm. I can open up the wrist. It's a nice thing to do. I can open up the fingers. Another yawn coming. And let that arm just kind of move softly. The joint spaces, all the joint spaces. You can move the fingers, you can move the wrist, you can move the shoulder. As if this is a little tentacle. If you were an octopus, this is your little tentacle. Okay. And I like to take my hand to just rest at the kind of top of the breast tissue and just give these little circles. It sort of begins to open me up and close me around that rib cage, that joint space of the clavicle and sternum. Just let the shoulder blade kind of glide over the ribs, which is nice. And then take that hand and let it nestle into your breast tissue and then just kind of roll yourself forward and back. So, I like to have this hand here because it softens into my body and the front of my chest. I might even stay there for a second. And I kind of place it wherever you want, but I place mine kind of at the center of the sternum and the clavicle. And it gives me a place to soften around. It's not hard. I'm not pushing or anything, it's just the weight. Okay. Okay. There's so many things we could do here, but we're going to keep this really, really simple this morning. And the other thing I can do is my legs are bent here, but I could take that top leg and let it grow long. And I could take this top arm and let it kind of open and close. So you'll notice I have top leg long. I'm going to get a better video set up here. And I'm keeping a soft arm. And I might let that rest for a second, actually. And then the arm can rise. I'm not letting this reach and reach and reach into space. My hand is touching my hand and it's resting now. Kind of creating a half moon on that side body. You could experiment with the leg, bringing it forward, bringing it back. It's nice to imagine yourself like the dial of a clock. And the leg just kind of going forward and back. And the arm going, the leg goes back, the arm goes forward. Actually, that's really nice. You can bend the leg if you need to. But notice I'm not opening up into a big spinal twist. My spine isn't ready for such a thing. Something as harsh as that right now. It just wants, my body just wants to open up the soft tissue, the fascial planes. So I'm stopping my practice where I want to linger. So that might be a time that I now transition to the belly or transition to my back, and then I would come back to the other side. Since we've done those sides, I'm going to go ahead and finish this practice with you on this other side. So again, I'm going to meet the ground, and I'm going to let my spine readjust because honestly, what I can sense here is now that I'm on this side of my rib cage, there tends to be a side I collapse, and I can feel that in my spine, and I'm just needing to let those ribs readjust to the ground for a second. And kind of, they're connected in with the spine, so allow them to kind of move in and resettle. My knees are bent. And I'm just going to take that hand when I'm ready, and I'm going to begin to do this little rocking. Again, just making it your own, as big or as little as you need. Just let the breath be free. To me in the morning in particular, it's like, let the sighs come, let the breath respond to the body awakening. Instead of making the breath something. Usually as I continue to yield, let this little bit of push travel, the relaxation comes and the breath just naturally gets bigger. Okay, I'm going to let that come to stillness. I'm complete, and I'm going to let that hand come above. And I'm just letting the weight of the humerus, the long bone of the arm, just fall into the shoulder. Then I'm going to start these sort of articulations. So it might be fingertips wide and closing. I might imagine I'm sort of scraping the inside of a jar with my hand. Go one way, go the other. You can reach through each finger. It's it's nice to allow the arm to open and close from fingertip to thumb. It's really nice on my shoulder. And then I'm going to let that arm just kind of come in, and again, I can do these little openings here. You can make the circle big, or you can make it small. You can even imagine your elbow is making figure eights. That's really nice. And then maybe I take this hand towards the chest and I just allow myself to roll forward, and I allow myself to roll back. My head's moving with my spine. So I'm letting it roll against my arm and rest on the ground. You can stop here, that would be nice, and snuggle that arm in. Again, it allows for a soft opening between my shoulders. Letting the contents, kind of that compression of the contents, open up my back body, my back lungs. Come back here. Maybe I let this top arm grow long. Just rest along the face and that long leg. Now this side is really different for me, so I might, you can soften that arm in any way if you need to. I'm noticing it's a little bit much on my shoulder, so I'm going to actually bring my hand into the ground just a little bit. And so this top leg is still long. And I'm going to really let the body kind of adjust to this on this side. This hip and this shoulder are really crunchy. So I'm just kind of waiting for the fascial plane to relax, and then when I'm ready, I might start a little bit of movement here. So like a dial of the clock, the leg might come forward, the arm will go back, the leg will go back, the arm comes forward, the knee can be bent, it doesn't need to be straight. I'm keeping in contact with the floor. I'm not lifting the limbs. I'm starting to feel here as I go into a spinal twist, the opening of these ribs into the ground actually. So I'm actually sensing this. Yes, I'm sensing it here with the opening, but I'm really feeling that lovely compression of the ribs as I start to fill up more on the ground on the opposite side. So it's really nice in these floor practices not to notice the area from which you're utilizing ground to expand from. But this relationship with ground is so nice as well and yummy. To me, it's just as fulfilling as the opening. And really, one couldn't happen without the other. So just honoring both sides. And then I'll come back and rest on the side body. All right, that was a quick little practice. But, and check out the hair, the somatic hair. Okay, let's take it out of that. Funny, these are like bloopers, but hopefully they kind of help, and sort of did them intentionally for people to see what a practice is really like in the morning. It's my COVID morning sequence practice. So Have a great day, and I hope to see you soon in the flesh, but if I don't, I'm going to keep on making little 15-minute videos. All right, take care. Bye.